right, let's dive in. We're going deep today into the future of crypto and AI.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Our guide for this deep dive is an article from the a16z crypto team. It's called A Few of the Things We're Excited About in Crypto 2025.
Okay.
And it was published pretty recently, actually. It just came out on December 4th, 2024.
Very cool. Very cool.
So we're going to be looking at like their predictions, what they think is going to happen, and how that's going to affect the whole landscape of crypto and AI, as we move into 2025.
Yeah, makes sense.
So get ready for things like AI agents with crypto wallets, chatbots, like seriously valuable chatbots, and even the need for something called proof of personhood.
Proof of personhood. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's a wild one. It's all about how we can tell, the difference between real people online and AI, with all this AI-generated content everywhere.
Oh, right. That's going to be huge. I mean, with AI getting so good at creating stuff like deepfakes, even whole online personas, it's going to be hard to tell who's real and who's not.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. One of the things a16z Crypto is really excited about are these AI agents.
Yeah, I read about that. They're not just like the bots we see today, are they?
No, not at all. Like they're thinking way bigger.
Right. Like they're imagining these AI agents as being able to act on their own autonomously and even participating, in markets.
Yeah. And managing resources.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge jump from where we are now. The article even says that AI is going from those background characters to being the main players.
Exactly. From non-playing characters to main characters, as they put it.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. So, for example, right, you could have AI managing decentralized energy grids, or even competing as high-value players in, say, online games.
I can see that, yeah.
But to do all that, right, to be a part of all these different systems, AI would need its own crypto wallets to hold assets, to manage them, to, transact.
Right. It's like giving AI its own financial identity.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of crucial if we're talking about true AI autonomy.
Definitely.
But it also raises all these questions about, control and security.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, what happens when AI starts making all these financial decisions without any human oversight?
Exactly. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, the potential is huge, but the risks are real.
Well, the good thing is the article, it doesn't shy away from those concerns. Like they talk about how we're going to need really strong security measures and governance frameworks to make sure we're integrating AI responsibly.
Right. We can't just let AI run wild. We need to set some boundaries, some rules, and make sure it's working for us, not against us.
Definitely. Okay, get ready for this next prediction. This one's even wilder.
Wilder. Okay, lay on me.
They call them decentralized autonomous chatbots.
DACs.
DACs. Okay, that's a new one.
Right. So imagine this, a chatbot, securely running in this trusted execution environment. So it's totally autonomous.
Okay.
But it can build a following, it can generate income, and it can even manage crypto assets, all without any human intervention. Whoa. That's next level.
Yeah. And they think these DACs could become billion-dollar entities?
Billion-dollar chatbots. That's crazy.
Right. Makes you wonder, how would a chatbot actually generate that kind of wealth?
Yeah. I mean, it's mind-blowing. Could you imagine, your favorite bot on social media, suddenly it starts giving you financial advice or managing your crypto portfolio?
That's a trip. It makes you think about what that means for financial markets.
Yeah.
And, even for human financial advisors.
Right. Are we all going to be taking advice from bots in the future?
Well, the article definitely makes you think about it. But they also stress that we need to think about the ethical side of all this and the legal stuff. As these AI entities get more sophisticated and more woven into our lives, we need to figure out the regulations.
Yeah, we need to make sure we're developing and using AI responsibly. It's not just about the tech, it's about the impact it has on society.
Exactly. And this all ties into another prediction they make, which is the growing need for what they call proof of personhood.
Proof of personhood. Okay, you mentioned that earlier. What's that all about?
Yeah, so basically, with AI becoming so good at creating content.
Right, like those deepfakes, yeah.
Yeah, and even creating convincing online personalities, it's going to be really hard to tell who's a real person online and who's an AI.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. So proof of personhood is all about verifying that you're actually a human, not just some AI pretending to be one.
Exactly. It's all about trust. How do we know who we're actually dealing with online.
Right, especially when it comes to things like voting, financial transactions, or even just everyday conversations. You need to know you're talking to a real person.
Right. And the article suggests that we might see new technologies and protocols specifically designed to verify human identity in the digital world.
So, like a digital fingerprint that proves you're human?
Something like that, yeah.
That's wild. But I can see why it's necessary. I mean, imagine a world where anyone can create 100 fake online identities. It would be chaos.
Totally. And that ties into another prediction they make, which is this shift towards more sophisticated ways of gathering information. And they think blockchain technology is going to play a big role in that.
Right, like those prediction markets we saw popping up in 2024.
Exactly. But they think that's just the beginning. Like, they see blockchain as this, powerful tool for incentivizing people to share information truthfully and to provide these transparent insights.
I can see that. I mean, blockchain is all about transparency and immutability, right?
Yes.
So it makes sense to use it for information aggregation.
Right. And they're talking about applications way beyond just, like, predicting election results. Like, they're thinking about community governance, sensor networks, supply chains, anything where you need reliable information.
That's really interesting. So, like, imagine a world where we can track where our food comes from, or monitor environmental conditions, or even manage, complex systems like energy grids.
Yeah, all on a blockchain, all transparent, all tamper-proof.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second and talk about something a lot of people are already familiar with, stablecoins.
Stablecoins, yeah. We've seen them being used more and more, especially for, like, global payments, people sending money overseas, stuff like that.
Right. It's fast. It's cheap. But what about bigger companies? Enterprises, are they jumping on the stablecoin bandwagon?
Well, that's what a16z crypto is looking at. And they say, even though stablecoins could save these big companies a ton of money, they've been kind of hesitant to adopt them.
Interesting. Why is that? What's holding them back?
They think it's a few things, like some regulatory uncertainty, the need for really strong security, and also just the challenges of integrating stablecoins into their existing financial systems.
That makes sense. I mean, big companies are always cautious about adopting new technology, especially when it comes to finance.
Right. But they predict that in 2025, things might change.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, they think small and medium businesses might lead the way, and then maybe bigger companies will follow because they want to, cut out those middlemen, the payment processors, and save money on transaction costs.
Yeah, I mean, if smaller businesses start proving that stablecoins work, then the bigger players are bound to take notice.
Exactly. Like, imagine a world where you can pay for your morning coffee with stablecoins.
And skip those credit card fees.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. And speaking of shaking things up, a16z crypto has this other bold idea: governments issuing bonds on blockchains.
Whoa. Government bonds on the blockchain? That's a big one.
Right. It could be a game changer for traditional finance and for DeFi.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having government-backed assets readily available on the blockchain.
Right. It would bring this whole new level of stability to DeFi lending, derivatives, things like that.
Makes sense. Governments are seen as like the ultimate source of stability, right? So if they're backing these digital assets, it could really boost confidence in the DeFi space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the article mentions that both the UK and the US are already looking into digital securities.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They even think there might be some trials of on-chain government bonds as early as 2025.
Wow. That's really interesting. So, like, we're seeing this merging of traditional finance and the blockchain world.
Totally. And as that happens, we're also seeing these new legal frameworks emerging for decentralized organizations.
Oh.
a16z crypto talks about the rise of DUNAs.
DUNs?
Yeah, stands for Decentralized Unincorporated Nonprofit Association.
Okay. A mouthful. But what are they exactly?
Basically, it's like a potential legal structure for DAOs.
Right.
Decentralized autonomous organizations.
Right. So it's like giving DAOs a legal identity.
Exactly. In Wyoming, they've already passed legislation recognizing DNAs.
Oh, wow. So they're kind of like pioneers in the space.
Yeah, they are. And a16z crypto thinks other states might follow suit, which could be huge for DAOs because it gives them legitimacy. It lets them operate within, the existing legal system.
Makes sense. It's hard for DAOs to thrive if they're constantly in this legal gray area.
Exactly. It's like a key step towards mainstream acceptance. Okay, one more prediction before we wrap up this part of the dive.
Bracket me.
They think the concept of liquid democracy might move from, like, the online world into the real world.
Liquid democracy. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. What is it?
Basically, it's a system where individuals can choose to vote directly on things, or they can delegate their vote to someone they trust, someone who, maybe has more expertise in that area.
Oh, interesting. So it's like a more flexible and dynamic approach to decision making compared to like traditional representative democracy.
Exactly. And the article points out that liquid democracy has already been used successfully in some crypto projects.
Makes sense. I mean, the crypto world is all about experimenting with new forms of governance.
Right. And they think this could potentially be applied at the local level. Like, imagine communities making decisions in a more transparent way, with everyone having a voice, either directly or through someone they trust.
That's a really interesting idea. I mean, it could really empower people to get more involved in their communities, but are there challenges to implementing something like that in the real world?
Oh, for sure. Like making sure the voting process is secure and private, preventing manipulation,
Yeah,
and just educating people about how liquid democracy actually works.
right. It's a complex concept, but the potential benefits are huge.
Exactly. And that wraps up this part of our deep dive. We've covered a lot, from AI agents and chatbots to stablecoins and government bonds on the blockchain. We even talked about the need for proof of personhood and the rise of liquid democracy.
It's been a wild ride. And it's clear that A16's crypto has a really ambitious vision for the future, a future where crypto and AI are deeply intertwined.
Definitely. And it's a future that's full of both incredible opportunities and, some potential risks that we need to be mindful of.
It's pretty amazing, how A16's crypto is connecting all these different things like AI, blockchain, tokenization, and how all of that could come together to really shape the world in 2025.
Yeah, it's like they're giving us a glimpse into this future where the lines between the physical and the digital are like blurring even more. And crypto and AI are right at the center of it all.
Totally. But as we're like heading into this uncharted territory, we need to be thinking about not just the good stuff, the potential benefits, but also the risks, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. The article makes a big point about that, like responsible innovation, thoughtful regulation, and really understanding the ethical implications of all this powerful technology.
It's a good point. We can't just like blindly embrace all the shiny new tech without thinking about the downside.
Exactly. It's like, how do we make sure these advancements are used for good and not, for harmful purposes?
Right. Tough question. But A16's crypto, they offer some ideas, like they talk about the need for decentralized governance structures that can empower individuals and communities so they have more say in how these technologies are developed and used.
So it's like moving away from the centralized control towards a more like distributed model where everyone has more of a voice.
Exactly. It's about shifting the power dynamics,
Right.
which could really disrupt the existing hierarchies and create new opportunities for people to participate.
I like that. But it also presents challenges, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, how do we make sure these decentralized systems are actually democratic and accountable? How do we prevent them from being, taken over by special interests or manipulated?
Those are really important questions.
Definitely. It seems like finding that balance between innovation and, responsible governance, that's going to be a key theme as we move into 2025.
Absolutely. So A16's crypto is calling for this more collaborative, ethically minded approach to developing crypto and AI. But what about specific applications? Where do they see the biggest impact happening in 2025?
Well, one area they highlight is the rise of what they call impact DAOs.
Impact DAOs. Okay, what are those?
So they're basically decentralized autonomous organizations, specifically designed to tackle, social and environmental problems.
So it's like taking the principles of decentralization and community ownership and applying them to real-world problems.
Exactly. And using blockchain technology to create these transparent, accountable solutions.
Can you give me an example? Like, how would these impact DAOs actually work?
Sure. So imagine a DAO that's dedicated to funding renewable energy projects or supporting education initiatives in, underprivileged communities.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Or maybe a DAO focused on like disaster relief or sustainable agriculture or even fighting for human rights.
Wow, that's powerful. It seems like these impact DAOs could be a whole new way to fund and manage social good projects. More efficient, more transparent.
Definitely. And it ties into another key theme they talk about, which is financial inclusion. A16's crypto sees blockchain as this incredible tool for empowering people who are excluded from the traditional financial system.
Right, like giving everyone, no matter where they live or their economic status, access to financial services.
Exactly. Imagine a world where anyone can send money across borders quickly, affordably, or access microloans to start a business, or participate in global investment opportunities, all thanks to blockchain technology.
That's pretty amazing vision. What specific applications do they see driving this shift towards financial inclusion?
Well, they talk about crypto-based solutions for things like remittances,
Yeah.
microfinance, and even the potential for blockchain-based universal basic income programs.
Wow. It's like rethinking financial services completely, making them more accessible, more affordable, more transparent, and using crypto to do it.
It's pretty exciting to think about the potential, and it's really encouraging to see crypto being used in this way, not just as, a speculative asset, but as a tool for positive change.
Totally. So besides financial inclusion, what other areas do they see being transformed by crypto and AI?
Well, another interesting trend they highlight is the potential for blockchain to revolutionize the creator economy.
Oh, the creator economy. That's a big one. So what are they thinking about?
They're talking about how NFTs and other blockchain-based tools are giving creators more control over their work, allowing them to, connect directly with their audiences and monetize their content in new ways.
So it's like cutting out the middleman
Yeah,
and giving creators more ownership.
exactly. Imagine a world where artists, musicians, writers, they can actually own their intellectual property, set their own prices, and keep more of the revenue they generate.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
It could lead to a much more diverse and vibrant creative ecosystem where talent and innovation are actually rewarded.
Totally. And we're already seeing examples of this happening.
For sure. Artists selling their work as NFTs, musicians launching their own tokens, writers experimenting with decentralized publishing platforms. It's a really exciting time to be a creator.
It is. It's like this whole new era for the creator economy is just beginning.
And blockchain is playing a key role in that, giving creators the tools they need to, build their own audiences, connect with their fans, control their own destinies.
Definitely. And speaking of communities, a16z crypto also highlights the rise of DAOs as this new form of online community, one that's built on shared ownership, shared governance, and shared purpose.
It's like taking the concept of a traditional online community and adding this whole new layer of shared responsibility and decision-making.
Exactly. And they're seeing these DAOs popping up everywhere, from gaming guilds to investment clubs to social impact initiatives. It's like a whole new way of organizing and collaborating online.
So it's not just about passively consuming content anymore. It's about actively participating.
Exactly. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself, contributing to something meaningful. And I think the shift towards, these more decentralized, community-driven online experiences, it could have a huge impact on how we work, how we govern ourselves, how we interact with the world.
It's like a whole new paradigm for online interaction.
It is. But as we're going through this transition, it's important to remember technology is just a tool.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
It's up to us to decide how we use it, what values we embed in it, and what kind of future we want to create with it.
Powerful reminder. A16z Cryptos article. It gives us a lot to think about. But ultimately, it's up to us to shape this future. Responsibly, ethically.
Couldn't agree more. We need to approach these technologies with optimism, yeah, but also with caution. Recognizing the potential for good, but also being mindful of the risks.
Wanting that balance is key, right?
It is. We got to be driven by progress, but that progress has to be guided by a strong ethical compass and a commitment to creating a better world for everyone.
And that brings us to another important theme they highlight: sustainability. As the crypto industry grows up, it's got to address its environmental impact, right?
Oh, absolutely. They talk about exploring alternative consensus mechanisms that are less energy intensive, investing in renewable energy sources to power blockchain networks, and promoting responsible mining practices.
It's like recognizing that the success of the crypto industry is tied to its environmental footprint. They can't exist separately.
Exactly. And the good news is that conversation is happening. We're seeing more and more projects prioritizing sustainability. There's a growing awareness that, taking care of the planet is essential for the future of crypto.
That's encouraging. It's like innovation and sustainability can go hand in hand.
They have to. As we explore the potential of blockchain, we've got to keep sustainability at the forefront of our minds.
It's about building a future that's not just technologically advanced, but also environmentally sound, sustainable for generations to come.
A future where innovation and sustainability They're seen as partners, driving us towards a more prosperous and equitable world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that leads us to another key theme A16's crypto highlights: interoperability.
Interoperability. That's a big one. They argue that as the crypto landscape keeps getting more, fragmented, it's crucial to develop solutions that let different blockchain networks communicate and work together seamlessly.
So, like, imagine being able to transfer assets or data between different blockchains, no matter what technology they're using.
Exactly. It's about breaking down those silos. And we're already seeing solutions emerging, like cross-chain bridges, interoperability protocols. It's an exciting development.
It sounds like a major challenge for 2025 is going to be figuring out how to create this seamless interoperability while also, maintaining the security and integrity of each individual blockchain.
Absolutely. It's a balancing act. And speaking of security, A16's crypto also stresses the importance of robust security measures to protect user assets and data.
Yeah, that's crucial, especially as the value of crypto transactions keeps growing. What specific things do they recommend?
They talk about the need for, continuously improving security protocols, developing more user-friendly security tools, and educating people to help them protect themselves from, phishing attacks and scams.
It's like a multi-layered approach, technology and user awareness working together.
Exactly. And along with security, they also emphasize the importance of privacy-enhancing technologies.
Privacy. That's a big one these days.
Yeah.
How do they see that playing out in the crypto world?
Well, they point to things like zero-knowledge proofs and other tools that can enable transactions to happen securely without revealing, unnecessary personal information.
It's about finding that balance, right, between the transparency of blockchain and the need for individual privacy.
Exactly. And building that trust is crucial. If we want to see widespread adoption of blockchain technology, we need people to feel confident that their privacy is being protected.
I completely agree. As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm struck by, the sheer scope of A16's crypto's vision. They've covered so much ground.
It's incredible. It really shows how dynamic and fast-moving the crypto space is. And it's clear we're still in the early days of this whole technological revolution. The possibilities are just, endless.
It's both exciting and, honestly, a little daunting to think about what the future holds. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the future of crypto and AI. We're looking at A16Z's crypto's predictions for 2025. And, wow, we've already covered a ton of ground. AI agents, tokenization, you name it.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. A16's definitely has some bold ideas.
Okay, so let's get into their final predictions. One that really stood out to me was the rise of crypto-native consumer products. What exactly do they mean by that?
Well, they're talking about products and services that are built from the ground up, with blockchain at their core, not just taking existing products and slapping a pay with Bitcoin button on them.
Got it. So it's like a whole new way of thinking about products and services.
Exactly, like decentralized social networks, where users have real ownership of their data, or gaming platforms where digital assets are actually scarce and can be traded, or even financial products that are more transparent and accessible than, what we have now.
It's a pretty radical shift, right? From centralized platforms controlling everything to these decentralized applications that give users more power, more control.
Definitely. And it fits right in with that whole trend of decentralization we've been talking about.
A16's crypto also predicts this surge in what they call crypto-enabled research and development. What's that all about?
So that's using blockchain and crypto economic principles to fund and speed up scientific research, especially in areas like healthcare, biotech, climate science.
Can you give me an example of how that might work?
Sure. Imagine researchers being able to get funding directly from supporters from all over the world through these decentralized platforms, so they don't have to rely on traditional grant systems, which can be slow and, bureaucratic.
That makes a lot of sense.
Or imagine scientific data being stored and shared securely on a blockchain so everyone can collaborate more easily and it's all transparent.
That's a game changer for science, right? More funding, more collaboration, more transparency. It could really accelerate breakthroughs.
Absolutely. And it could help us tackle some of the biggest challenges we're facing, like developing new treatments for diseases or finding solutions to climate change.
Okay, on to A16's crypto's final prediction, and it's a big one. Crypto-augmented governance. What is that?
So this is basically using blockchain technology to make our existing systems of governance better. From local communities to national governments to, global organizations.
How would that actually work? How could blockchain improve governance?
Well, think about voting, right? Citizens could vote on policy proposals securely and transparently using a blockchain system, which would reduce the risk of fraud or manipulation.
That's a great example.
Or governments could use blockchain to track spending and allocate resources more efficiently, making everything more transparent.
And on a global scale, imagine international organizations using blockchain to coordinate aid efforts or manage complex agreements. It could really streamline things and make sure resources are used effectively.
Exactly. Blockchain brings these principles of transparency, immutability, security to governance. It could help us build much more trustworthy systems.
It's a powerful vision. Technology empowering people to have a more direct say in how things are run.
For sure. But there are also, challenges. Implementing these systems will take a lot of careful planning, collaboration, and we need to address issues of security, privacy, accessibility. It's not a simple fix.
But the potential benefits are huge, right?
Right.
More responsive, transparent, inclusive forms of governance that could really build trust in our institutions.
Absolutely. And with that, we've reached the end of our deep dive into a16z's crypto's predictions for 2025. It's been an amazing journey through all these different trends. AI, DAOs, the future of governance, the convergence of crypto and AI is shaping a really fascinating future, full of possibilities, but also a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. But what stands out to you as the most significant prediction or trend?
I think it's the focus on building user-centric solutions that make a real difference in people's lives, whether it's those crypto-native products or impact DAOs or just making blockchain technology easier to use. The key to widespread adoption is creating things that truly benefit people.
I completely agree. It's not just about the technology for its own sake. It's about using it to create a better world. More equitable, sustainable, empowering.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's what makes this whole space so exciting to be a part of. We're literally shaping the future right here, right now.
And on that note, we'd love to hear from you, our listeners. What excites you most about the potential of crypto and AI? What concerns you? What questions do you have? Join the conversation on our website or connect with us on social media. And we'll be sure to include links to AC6 Picks Crypto's article and other resources in the show notes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep. Until next time.